Hey, what's up guys? How you all doing? This is Foul Hound here.
Warning, taking heat damage.
We're happy St. Patrick's Day, and we're here at the Marine Station right now. Doing some, gathering some stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Just gathering some stuff. And then when I was gathering this stuff, what popped in my head was a game. It's a little bit of an older game. I'm not talking about old. I'm talking about like a few years old. Well, now thinking about it, it's probably damn near a 20-year-old game. Shit. But it's actually still has some decent graphics. And still a very fun game to play. It's a game called Dawn of War. It's a very fun game. I really like that game, Dawn of War. It is a Warhammer 40,000 game. If you don't know about Warhammer 40,000, Google it, and there is a lot of Warhammer stuff. There is far too much for me to explain in a single video. I'm talking about, there is channels dedicated to just talking about it, which I love the game. It's just not a computer game. It's also a miniature war game. A miniature war game, yes. It's a miniature war game too. It's a computer game. There's a whole bunch of different games to it. Dawn of War is just one of their, like, one game type of it. Just pretty much like a series. But anyways, continuing on to what I'm saying, Dawn of War, fun game. The first one was great. It's like a classic RTS game where you built an army, you built up a base, you built an army, and you attacked the enemy's base and army. So classic. But what was really cool about it was that your basic squads and your characters, you could really customize them. So you could choose like what special weapons that they had, what kind of unit it was going to be, what special skills it had, and it's like you can choose them for every single unit, like every unit that you had, not like single soldier, but like the unit that they were in. It's like, hey, I'm going to specialize you in this, and give you like a rocket launcher or a heavy bolter, like a heavy machine gun. I'm going to give you a few of those, or I'm going to give you flamers, or I'm going to give you plasma guns, or I'm going to give you grenade launchers, things like that. You could customize them and really have their focus to what you really needed at the like what you really needed. You couldn't switch it once you really got them stuff, so it's kind of like, hey, I want to have you in a focus of like heavy anti-infantry or heavy like anti-vehicle, like a mix between infantry and vehicles and things like that. And that was really cool about it. It's like, oh crud, I didn't know I could do that much craziness with this. But yeah, it was a really cool game. The second Dawn of War was less of a classic RTS and more of a crap, why can't I get that word out? It was not a classic RTS. It was more of a smaller squad-based tactical game. So you would start the game, you pretty much had like, hey, you had your force commander, which is pretty much your commander of your unit, which is a very strong melee character at the beginning that had heavier armor, and then you had a unit of tactical marines. So Dawn of War is pretty much, it focuses on the Blood Angel Space Marines, pretty much genetically super modified soldiers, things like that. There's a lot more to it, but this is just a quick overview of the games. Is that you had a squad of tactical marines that were just pretty much trained. They were very adaptable, very open squad that could do so many different things. They could They were just a very, very versatile, flexible force that was very, very useful, that could do almost anything you wanted them to do. Tactical Marines, that's what they are. But the Tactical Marines were really range-based. So they were all about the shooting at the beginning, and it was like, okay, you want the shooting. You have a melee unit to keep them from getting to your range unit, and your range unit to shoot them up. So yeah, that's what they had. And then as you got the game, you got more people. You got like a scout squad. They're a very lightly armored unit that were not about really fighting, but they were about stealth and surprise attacks and sabotage. And you got an assault unit, which was a very fast-moving, strong melee unit that had the ability to use jump packs to cross large distances and do very shock attacks, surprise attacks. You got a Devastator squad, which the Devastator squad is a heavy weapons armored, very heavy weapons squad. I'm talking about this squad has weapons that are the heavy bolter, a giant machine gun that shot out miniature rockets. Bolters do not shoot out bullets. They shoot out miniature rockets. That's what's crazy about the bolters. They didn't shoot out bullets, they shot out miniature rockets that were mass detective, and once they get into the center of a mass of anything, they explode, which is freaking crazy. And we're talking about it's a machine gun that shoots out bullets. At that speed, as a machine gun will shoot out bullets at that speed, that thing shot out freaking miniature rockets that were columns. And then you will get something that's called a dreadnought in there. Dreadnought is pretty much a hero space marine that was critically injured and near death, that was put in a sarcophagus tomb that would pretty much save and extend their life, and then the tomb would be placed into a robot, like a giant walking war machine. That's like Space Marines. They're about like 7-8 feet tall. They're like super big humans. Dreadnoughts about 12 feet tall or so, and dreadnoughts were big and unfriendly, and they're just like, hey, I will crush you kind of thing. And one of their catchphrases in the game is, even in death, I still serve. So pretty much they're at the brink of death or almost dead. Okay, but continuing with this game, is that yeah, you could do a little bit more customization in this game, like customize some of your characters, customize. By customizing them is you can like change their armor, you can change their weapons, you can change their special little weapon tokens, things that they had, which was pretty darn cool, because there was a lot that you could do. There's a lot you could do with that stuff.
Warning, hull breach
and
then
with this game is that it gave you the ability also to customize their stats a little bit. It's like, hey, I want this guy to be a little bit more melee focused, or hey, I want this guy to be more like energy focused. Like energy focus is like their ability to use their special techniques, special weapons, special things like that, their specials of any sort. Or I want them to be like HP based, where they have more life, and then as you continued on one of the bars, melee, range, energy, or HP, is that it filled up, and then like every few points you put in, there's a special little rank you could put in that gave them a new ability. It's like, hey, I'm going to focus on my assault squad and make them more melee focus or range focus. Then you put a few more, and it's like, oh hey, yeah, since they're you get to this point, and it's like, oh hey, your guys are range confident. They shoot more frequently. So it's pretty much that they have a shorter cooldown between their weapon fires. So instead of like, hey, they fire 4 times a second with a bolter, it's now that they fire 6 times a second with a bolter. Or it's like, oh hey, the plasma gun, every 2 seconds they would shoot a shot. Now they shoot a shot every 1 second. And it's like 4 guys in the squad. And just like little things like that. Oh hey, I'm going to make my tactical squad from a range unit to a melee unit. So now they're running around with chain swords. Chain swords are freaking... They're chainsaw swords, which is just crazy coolness, which everyone loves. Which I love a lot. And it like little handheld bolters going around, shooting the bolters as they're running forward, smacking around. So you like rank up their melee skill, and it says, oh hey, they gain the ability to use power weapons. Power weapons are pretty much like, say, like a sword, hammers, or axes that have a force field slash disruptor field radiating from it. So when they hit, it disrupts the molecular structure of whatever they hit, so easily able to tear through armor and flesh a lot easier. Stuff like that. Oh, and then you keep ranking it up, and it's like, oh hey, your guys become a weapon master, so they deal extra damage every time they fight. Oh hey, your guys gain the ability to parry, so they will take less damage. They will take less damage every time they're hit in melee, or they have a chance to completely avoid taking damage from melee hits. And like little things like that, that was really fun. You could really mess with it, customize it, do stuff. And that just really made it fun. So that's Dawn of War 2. Dawn of War 3, Sega took over. Sega didn't touch it for years, and they pretty much tried to make it a mediocre MOBA game with like a lot of like loot box features and things, but it failed miserably. And then they pretty much took all the loot boxes away and pretty much made it like in-game currency kind of stuff, and that killed the series. And it kind of made me sad because I really liked that series. That was a very fun game series that I enjoyed greatly, and I wish it was still around. And like on Steam or Epic, you can probably find those games I'm talking about. You can find those games for cheap. Like literally Dawn of War and all of its, the first one, and all of its expansions. You could probably find a deal for it that it goes on sale all the time for $10 for it and all 4 of its expansions. Or it's like, or hey, pay $14 and get Dawn of War 1 with all the expansions and Dawn of War 2 with all of its expansions. And it's like, oh shit. Yeah, so you can get a lot of games for $14, and they're very fun games, lots of things to do, and that's one kind of game one game series and one fan fiction that I would recommend to people to check out, because I love that game series, and I hope other people find out and like it too. So that game series is good. It has tabletop. It has hundreds of books and series. I'm talking about some of these books are good. I'm talking about real good. Like you're reading those books, and then you see what's happening, and the villain says some stuff, and it's like, oh yes, you think I'm a cartoon villain, but you know what? Is that I'm not going to tell you my master plan, and even if I do, you're not going to stop it because I already had it started 30 minutes ago, so it's already out of your control. Like crazy shit that you're reading, you're just like, oh shit, and you just drop the book because it's just like, it shocks you. It's like crazy. Some of the stuff is real good. They have good writers. Like actual writers that have like several New York Times bestsellers, and that have gotten awards from reading the stuff. So it's all owned by Games Workshop and everything. Definitely check out the Warhammer 40,000 stuff. It is worth a great series, and I love it all. And anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Help share my videos. Comment. Tell me how I can get better, what I can do, and remember, most importantly of all, always love the Hellhound. You all take care.